Well, surprise, everybody. This is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com. And today we're taking a surprise look at Spitfire Audio's Originals Cinematic Soft Piano. And man, that's what we're playing right here. So, I'm just so amazed at all of the crazy piano libraries that have come out. I mean, 2020 so far, it's been the year of something else, but for me personally, it's been the year of just some really amazing piano libraries. And it's just, when they come out, I just want to share them with you guys because I'm just so excited and I love the opportunity to be able to bring these beautiful libraries to you. So hello to everybody. If it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe and do all those things because it really helps to support the channel. And like today, we had an earlier video drop, and then it was like they surprised us with the cinematic soft piano. And so we're going to take a look at that. We're going to maybe do some comparisons, and if you've got questions, just ask away in the chat, and I'm going to be able to just do my best to answer your questions, but most importantly, that we can experience this piano together. So here we go. So let's just take a look. As you can see, it uses the Spitfire, their custom player. They have been moving away from the contact player, which is kind of smart in a way because you don't have to pay additional licensing fees and that type of thing. When you use a free player, the developer has to pay a fee to Native Instruments to use that player. So if you develop your own in-house player, it gives you some flexibility, and you can offer hopefully more value to the customer, to the end user. It's a very controversial player, but I think once you get kind of used to it, it's easy to get around. So I just have the 50/50 patch pulled up right at the moment. And one of the things about the cinematic soft piano is that you have 3 mic positions, and it was recorded in the Air Studio in Lyndhurst in the UK, which is known for its big room. The room is so big, it's got a nice sound to it, because that's where a lot of scores were recorded. And Spitfire does a lot of their recording sessions, their sampling sessions. So it's based on a Yamaha U3 upright. And we're just going to go through some of the patches and just kind of play with this some. So you have the close, the mix. If you see the pictures of this cinematic soft piano, you see just a huge amount of microphones that they use. So I think the mix is the engineer's mix of all of those mics together, and then you have the close mics. So let's just play around with this some. We've got over here, you've got the control in the center, you've got reverb, tightness, and hammer noises and pedal noises. So let's just kind of play around with it. I'm going to mute the mic so we can just kind of play and experience this piano together. This is not the free library. This is what's called the originals. So they've taken the labs, but it's similar to labs as far as it's a felt piano, but this is $29 at the originals. So let's just check it out. And I've got the labs loaded here. I've got soft piano loaded here. And so I'm going to play this a little bit, and then we'll switch over to labs and maybe switch over to another felt piano that I reviewed recently and just get a kind of comparison with all of them. So here we go. And that just adjusts the dynamic range a little bit. So I usually keep that in the middle. I think the cinematic soft piano has more layers, more velocity layers. I'm getting a little spiking every once in a while, but it probably is due to the streaming. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on that CPU meter, especially when I'm building up here. Yeah, so I can see that. Yeah, I can see that meter up there. Just when we're up here doing a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, it kind of spikes a little bit, and I think I might be able to do some settings. I guess we've got the preload buffer. Let's just see. Let's take a look. That's what's so good about. Yeah, I'm having some trouble finding the settings here. Okay, it's here because I saw it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, there are some settings there. Yeah, you know, the felts usually typically don't have as big of a punch, but I'm going to switch to another preset. Let's go up front. Yeah, so let's take a listen to the up front. Yeah, it's just got a covered tone. And I'm going to boost this. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you. There we go. So let's go to the audio settings and 512 voices max, and I'm going to see if I can do this 1024. And oh, will it let me even do 1024? 1024. No, it won't. So let's do 880. Let's try that. Yeah, it does sound very nice. And I'm going to double this preload size. I'm going to do like 24,000 on that preload. Okay. And then stream buffer size. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to try that. Yeah, it's got a really nice sound. And one of the things I noticed, they have the pad. They have a nice pad. And what they've done with the pad is run the recordings through some processing, some tape saturation, and that type of thing. So let's just listen to that with the close mic enabled. And then when you turn the fader down, it automatically turns the channel off. So let's just check this out. Yeah, you can hear that. You kind of want that a little subtle, so let's back it down. Okay, let me just see something here. I'm going to turn the reverb all the way off, because one of the things that is supposed to make this different from the other felt pianos is the Air Studio recordings. And so I'm just going to turn up the close mic, and I'm going to just hit this note and just kind of get an idea of what that room sounds like. Okay, that's without reverb. So you're hearing all those reflections in the room. Yeah, you just hear that room reflecting. And I think, one of the things that I always say is that the room is just as an integral part of the instrument as the samples themselves, because it does something. It does something when you're hearing the sound, you're perceiving a space. And sometimes it's not possible to get that same effect with just reverb alone. So okay, so we've got adjustments for the hammer noises, and when I was playing it, I can hear a lot of noises and bumping around, so you hear a lot of the mechanical noises going on. Yeah, you hear all those little mechanical noises, all the releases of the hammers. And then you have the pedal noise adjustments. All of these things like this, the mechanical noises and pedal noises, and even some libraries have been putting what you might consider Foley type sound effects of like the piano player moving around on the bench and that kind of thing. Here's the pedal noises. And these are like what I just call seasonings, and you just want to be very careful with how much you do that. Yeah, Noir is a totally, Noir to me just stands in a category on its own. It just is like a really amazing experience. But for $29, you get some beautiful tones here. I'm going to just adjust the tightness a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so it just affects how. Let's turn that hammer noise down just a little bit. It just adjusts the response. Okay, so let's do this for fun. Let's do this for some fun. I'm going to pull up the Labs soft piano, and this is what really started the whole, just the felt uprights. So this is just the basic. It was like one of the first free Labs instruments that Spitfire offered. And so let's just take a listen to that. And we can kind of maybe hear a little of the differences between this piano and the cinematic soft piano. The number one thing about the Labs soft piano is that it doesn't have the velocity layers. I think it just has maybe one or two velocity layers. So let's just take a listen to the Labs soft piano. Now I'm going to go back to the cinematic piano and do the same thing, try to play the same thing. I said try to play the same thing because sometimes you forget. Here we go. You do get a little bigger sense of space with the cinematic piano. Let's just go back to the yeah, and let me see. Yeah. It is very similar. Now let's go back to this. And I'm going to turn the hammer noises down just a little bit. Yeah, they just refined that idea with this new one. You probably have more more samples along the keyboard. Instead of just having a few that are stretched out, the Cinematic Soft has maybe more that's stretched out. More, I guess, more individual samples instead of a few samples, and they stretch them, so you get a lot better. It does have a little more open sound, so. And this is just with a close mic. Let's go to another preset. Afterglow. Let's go to Afterglow. See, you've got a little pad there. Yeah, okay, here we go. So you got the pad there. Yeah, that just kind of gives it, it's almost like a space echo-y type of thing. Yeah, I'm getting some of those CPU spikes with this. Just not very often. Okay, let me just turn those hammers down. I think that's what we're hearing a lot of. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, I hear a lot of those mechanical noises, even with the hammers turned off. And let's just take the mix out and the pad out. Yeah. Let's take a listen to the mix channel by itself. And yeah, thanks guys for joining me. It's just such a pleasure and an honor to be able to bring these libraries to you. I love it so much. I enjoy it. So this is just the mix position only. I've got the hammer noises off and the reverb is just slightly on. So let's take a listen. Just a lot of body in that. And you have a lot more spaciousness with it because I guess they're using the decatrees and the farther out mics. I'm gonna turn the reverb all the way off so we can hear just the room. Yeah. Yeah. Without any effects, because you're getting that room. That room is just a big player in this. and you get a lot less of the mechanical noises. So if we bring a little bit of the close mic back in, just a little bit. Yeah, if there's anything you want me to try, or just give me a shout out. And but yeah, the mix mic, the mix is great. Yeah, that's great. So I want to throw a little wrench in this. I recently, and then we're going to come back to soft piano, but I thought, why not, since we're talking about felt pianos, why not just throw in a little surprise with, and again, this is in the contact player. This is the Westwood Alt Piano, and I just discovered Westwood just a little bit ago, but this is their version of I guess, an upright library. It has some felt, it has natural. So this is kind of interesting. So this is, so you've got the natural, and then we're going to move it over to the felted, and so we can just kind of hear a different approach to what. Yeah, there you go. Now let's go back to the cinematic. And again, I hear the room. I hear that signature. An alt piano. Yeah. So it's just amazing. And you know, the thing again about having the player is that if you don't have contact, you don't have to make that investment. I love alt piano. It's very, very nice. I love being able to blend the two pianos together. So here is make sure I've got the cinematic. Yeah, the room, the way that they've got this, yeah. So listen to that. Let's get into another key. So let's just see. Let me zoom in here a little bit so I can see what, one thing I appreciate is they give you some tool tips here. So tightness, okay. 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 So the tightness, actually, I'm thinking, if I understand what I'm reading correctly, is that the tightness it could be adjusting the sample start time, because with the tightness, it says you're going to get a little less of the mechanical noises. So here we go. So I'm going to just play. I'm going to mute the mic. I'm going to adjust the tightness. We're going to start soft, and I'm going to just play soft to loud, and just hear what this is doing. I'm going to turn off the pad, Okay, so I'm going to put the dynamic range a little bit about half. Okay, here we go. So tightness is all the way off. And you hear those mechanical noises. So let's lower that dynamic range a little bit so we can dig into it a little bit more. Now let's turn up the tightness. Let's go to 50%. Hear a little difference? Let's go all the way up. Let's go back down. Yeah, a lot more of the mechanical noises are coming in. And so that's like the little pre-attack portion of a sample. So when you look at the waveform of a sample, you'll see like this little space, and then you'll see where the sound kind of comes in. I think this tightness is what is helping us to adjust some of that. Yeah, the sample start, and that way the more that you have the tightness on, it minimizes a lot of those pre-attack portions of the sample. Yeah, so this close mic, and if you look at some of the videos, they have a video that shows you the setup. Okay, yeah, the setup of how they put the U3, the Yamaha U3 up, not totally against the wall, but just a little further back. Okay, let's put that mix mic back up. Yeah, and really there's not a whole lot here to do. Let's just crank that reverb up and just they don't give you a whole lot of things to adjust, which is good in a way. And then, but you know, there's a lot of stuff that's hidden back there, and we don't know if they have a more detailed felt upright going, because it looks like they've done a lot of recording and a lot of mic setups. Don't like to get it too wet, just enough to kind of make it interesting. And I love being able to just have these mixing, and then you can assign those to your faders and that type of thing. I'm not real sure. not real sure about the dynamic layers, but let's just kind of see with the close mic and experiment with that. Take the reverb off. So I'm just going to take this all the way so we can get the full range of dynamics here. And let's just play soft and see how we can hear the transitions going through. Yeah, that's a very soft layer. I'm barely touching the keyboard. And when I can get it to be real soft like that. And I'm really watching the meters. I'm not seeing too, just trying to keep that. I think I'm hearing like three different velocity layers. So we've got the really soft, and then we can get into it like a moderate, and then that very loud layer. So I'm thinking, I'm figuring there has to be around 3, and maybe a couple of round robins. Let's put that mix mic back in, and that's where the money is in this mix position here. Turn that tightness down a little bit. Yeah, you hear a lot more of the mechanical noises there. So let's just put that right back here. So let's look at the other presets they've given us. And I'm not sure if washed out. So let's just check that out. Okay, yeah, so I don't think there's anything going on under the hood with the presets. I think they've just kind of given you some these. Yeah, so the pad is all the way up here. You've got those hammer noises and pedal noises. Yeah, I like that. I like that processing of them. Thanks, guys, for joining me. That's great. Yeah, it's almost like a granular or whistling, or the tape delays. Yeah, you don't want to get it too muddy. And I'm surprised that there's not some kind of a tonal control that we can kind of let that cut through a little bit better. And yeah, so I think so that pad is just building up. And you can just let that ride a little bit. Okay, let's try something. So that the cinematic piano is just sustaining in the background. And eventually that will fade out. So I just pulled the labs up and just kind of playing over top of that a little bit. Yeah, the labs only has like maybe 1 or 2 layers, but the cinematic has at least 3, I would say. I wish they would have given us a little more control over the tone shaping, and maybe even like an EQ or something like that. Like a brightness or something. Yeah. Okay. Well. So, this is just what keeps happening. I mean, this is just some other ideas coming from Spitfire and building on something they've kind of helped to get out there with the lab soft piano and with the cinematic soft piano. So you guys have any more questions, man, just feel free to jump in while we're still here, just a couple more minutes. Yeah, I just like that bite on the end. And you can hear some transitions there a little bit. Turn that reverb off. Well, the main differences and the pluses are the velocity layers, the mix mic, which captures that ambience of the Air Studios. And then you have multiple mic positions. See, so yeah. And the alt piano, Westwood's alt piano, was kind of like in the same price range. Right now, I think it's like $35 until Friday, until tomorrow, actually. For just an entry, is sort of like an entry level or just like a step up from labs, I think, $29, that's pretty reasonable. I would like to see more, and I think that's probably what they've got in mind. They've kind of like step you from free, then they take you to the 30, and then who knows, it may be down the road another update to this that will give you possibly more control over the mics and EQ maybe, or tone. Yeah, see, this is just the mix position, which is great. See, down here it just gets a little dark. But yeah, very interesting. So thank you all for joining me today. I mean, it's just again, I love sharing these instruments with you. Yeah. And And then if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, just leave that in the comments below. And even after we go off live stream, if you have any questions, just leave those in the comments below, and I'll get back to you, and it may inspire some other videos. If you've got any other libraries you'd like to see, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. It's what I love to do. I love to share with you guys. So the links will be in the description below, how you can learn more about the Spitfire Cinematic Soft Piano. I think it's a really good improvement, from the Labs. I mean, the Labs is just really a groundbreaking instrument for being free and to get people started. And this is just a logical next step. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. We're just going to play a little bit more, and then we'll just see you next time. This is Simeon from PraiseTracks.com, and we'll see you real soon. And we're just going to play a little bit more.